Okay, so good evening everyone and welcome back in today's class. Today we are on the day number 8. Okay, and I just do a little bit more on the agenda part specifically so that what I can say little bit clear on the agenda specific. Okay, yesterday what we started is basically requirement planning. So like let's take example. If I said, okay, Suraj, I want to be implement a new tool. You said, okay, Atul, we can implement for you. And I say, okay, Suraj, can you travel to my site? Maybe it is for internal, maybe it is for the customer side. You said, okay, I can travel. Whenever we say travel, people get happy. Oh my God, I'm traveling. Maybe just in a India, in outside, that is the one thing. But they says, okay, this workshop. Now listen carefully. Listen these words. Workshop. I'm taking a name which we discuss in the next chapter. Okay, so Suraj, let's have a workshop together. I will include, I will be inviting my team members from the business perspective. You can come with your architect if required. Otherwise, you are good to go because you are a business analyst. You will speak with us. You will talk to us in the functional language. You done? Now there are two cases. The case number one, Suraj go there and the business person asks, okay, what is the agenda? Suraj say, what? Nobody give me any agenda. Then the other person say, why you are here without agenda? Because you invited. It means there is something is missing here. That is called the agenda. That is come into the requirement planning and management. Before I go for the workshop, before I go to gather the requirement, before I go and talk to my customer on their need, I need to be see that what else I need to be do as a homework at my side. So we discussed yesterday about the this thing that what come in the requirement part. Let me go a little bit up for a quick revision of a minute or two. We done this part, right? This thing. So before you land to their location, before you reach to their place, you have to do your homework. Some homework we discussed like identify the key stakeholders or the role specifically. Selecting the requirement activities, what I'm going to be gather, how I'm going to be manage that requirement and scope. I'm not saying go and talk on the solutioning part. No, never ever go and talk the solution on the immediate basis. No, get some confidence, get their business problem, and then try to be cover that with the help of that technology if required. Then to do this part, you should know that who are the stakeholder, what are the task and communication tool I can use it. In this phase, the first term, the first step which is required to be understood is called the team role for the project, which we discussed yesterday. That I should know who all are the team members involved in this project to make the project success. VC, sponsor, BA, PM, developer, everybody is there. And we define the RASI for the same. Then we define the roles basically on the documentation part, which we say that in the documentation I need to be mentioned, and I show you some examples like this. You can divide the or you can create a documentation format in this manner. In the today's topic, what we are going to be cover is the division strategy. Now in a big companies, there's a one of my friend who is staying in UK. I'll not say it's a direct friend, it's a friends and friends. He's more than 20-25 years experience. He done a role where he worked as a lead business analyst. Approximately 20 BAs approach or so not approach report to him for the work. That is called the work division strategy because you are a BA. Now think from that perspective. If you are speaking with the customer face to face, you will not able to down or you are not able to do the all the recordings as well, like making a notes. This is one division we have to be do. So as per the best practice, as per the good practice, what they say, a business analyst work division strategy is a systematic plan of action intended to accomplish a specific goal. In this phase, maybe I can put a work division strategy that introduction will be given by client. Tool introduction will be given by myself. Scoping will be discussed or defined or be read by project manager. So what I'm doing, I'm dividing that. It's not like a bhaichara, bhai tu kar le, nahi. If you are a good BA, then you have to do this exercise as well. So let's say there are 5 business analysts and 72 requirement activities. See, I'm not saying 72 requirements, 72 requirement activity. Setting up the agenda till communication. These are the activity. Who will record, how will record, who will prepare the distribution list, who will prepare the stakeholder list, who will prepare the notes, who will prepare the recordings, who will upload the recordings, who will remove the recordings, who will send the minutes, who will arrange the lunch or maybe discussion on the offline part on these things that need to be divided. Okay, let me try to open that book from my side. Let me see if I find some good screenshot here. So we are here on the topic called work division strategy. No, let me try to do this part. We are here, right? Maintain, not this. This is what we are doing at point of time. Maintain, trace, not here. This one, planning and monitoring. Where's governance? No. Okay, let me come back here only. Better we can do this thing. Okay, so define the work division. Coordination of the information in the team members. So if I'm a lead BA or we are the team of the 5 BA, because you say, Atul, are you mad? Do you have 5 BA in a project? No, but maybe in the big project, we have the 5 BA. You are the lead BA and under that you have another BA. Business analyst complete the activities. Knowledge transfer among the team members. Maybe let's say we are the 5 BAs and we are going to the client side. If we all 5 sit in same room, then we cannot complete this activity in the 7 days. So let's divide the stakeholders and divide the BAs as well. Guys, go and talk to your respective stakeholders. And in the evening, let's have a knowledge transfer, knowledge sharing specifically, that what I got. So let's say I'm from the incident management. I will sit my incident management stakeholders. Hitesh is from the change management. He will go and talk to the change management guys. One more guy is there. Suraj is from the problem management. He will go and talk to that guy. So everybody need to be complete that activity. In layman part, we are doing this thing, but not formally, informal. So what the task includes here, divide work among us the business analyst team. So first of all, understand that how many activities are there, because you alone cannot do each and everything. That is a very, very important point. So divide the team, divide the work in the team now. Okay, like I give you the practical example. In one of the client, me and one of my friends, we both are the BA, we go there. I was senior, so he did not report me, but we worked together. So I told him, hey, you need to be sit on the laptop, take a minutes, take a notes, action point, assumption, risk you have to be take. I'll be in front of the customer, will be standing and giving the presentation, all the things will be there. This is a one activity we divided. He said, then if you go to the next task, that Atul, how we can divide the work? Maybe if I say, Suraj, you need to be take a minutes and I will be standing. Atul, it's very boring, yeah. I will be speaking. You can take a notes. So in this way, what we have to do, we have to follow some techniques here. that how I can divide the work. Remember, जहां पर सुई काम कर सकती है वहां पे तलवार काम नहीं कर सकती, और जहां पे तलवार काम कर सकती है वहां पे सुई काम नहीं कर सकती. So that is the strategy we have to be follow. That is a technique we have to be follow. What technique BA Bock says? It says number one, see that how many subject matter expert with you in that particular requirement gathering. I know that Suraj is best in the integration. Suraj, when the integration agenda will come, you will be there for the presentation. I'll take the notes. I'm dividing that. Complexity. Activity level of complexity. I know I'm taking one fresher with me for the client side. He's not good in the confidence. He cannot speak much to the customer. So I will not give that work to that guy. Previous work experience with the stakeholder. Maybe I'm new into the company, but the person who interviewed me, he know that I'm coming from a big and rich background where I know that how to talk to the customers and what to talk. So on the basis of the previous work experience, the task can be divided. Geography and culture. If I am traveling to China, maybe Japan, I don't know that what culture, what way they follow to start the meeting. I'll prefer to take one person from that location only. Hey, can you do the initial introduction and post that I will taking care of that part. So these are the few techniques given by BA Bock to the BAs that you can divide the work on this part. But again, on the bottom line, we are not following this. We are not following this. We are just saying, OK, I'll go and do this part. OK. The benefits. If you follow this technique, the benefits you'll be getting mainly two benefits. Number one, a cross-functional business analyst and a functional business analyst. A cross-functional means a person who has combination of everything. It means a cross-functional business analyst has a variety at a different level of business analyst skill, experience, junior versus senior, or a business analyst lead. So like if I say my company say, Atul, can you go and talk to my customer from the ITSM perspective? I said yes, I can speak. Because I know in ITSM in and out, incident change, problem request, knowledge, CMDB, or I can say problem part, little bit integration, data foundation, data loading, all the things I know. So I'm a cross-functional business analyst because I know a lot of it. I know the data, I know the integration, I know the integrity, I know the combinations, I know the tool as well, I know the alternatives as well. So I'm a cross-functional business analyst. But a functional business analyst is a specialist skill or a training of the business, that is data modeling. Suraj is only and only perfect in the data modeling. He's a functional business analyst for me. He can draft, he can make a model for us that how the data will be stored in ServiceNow, which I cannot do, but he can do. But he don't know about the ServiceNow or maybe ITSM, maybe change incident problem. He don't know. He know about the data modeling. So this is the benefit you will be getting, and how you get the benefit when you divide the work on these parameters specifically. These things. Clear till this point? Any doubt? Suraj?
Clear.
Okay. Good. Now the next technique which BA Bock says, coordination of information within the team. भाई अगर हम silos में काम करेंगे, then we cannot achieve a goal. So in this technique, we have to be share the knowledge as well. And what this is, an information platform is created for the business analysts pertaining to the business concepts, functional, non-functional. In short, what I can say, internally we should have some kind of a SharePoint or a repository where I am putting my data, you are putting your data, so that when we go back to our base location or in our company, we can see this complete data and we can say, okay, by this way we can implement this particular project. Maybe this data will help. Maybe like say, Suraj, when we reach back to the home, Suraj say, yeah, that customer was saying that I'm looking for a linking between incident and the change. My customer also say I'm looking for a change and the problem. Hitesh said, I was looking for the problem and the incident. It means how we are getting by seeing these documentations now, by seeing the coordination of the information. Remember this one, knowledge transfer. By doing the knowledge transfer, we are able to make the things for the customer. Now we're able to draft a high level model. We can see how the linking will be done, how the process will be done. So like if I want to be implement service now for one of the customer, I have a lead architect, but he did not work alone. Whenever I ask, hey Anish, maybe I'll say Suraj or maybe Umesh or something like that, I say, can you help me on this part? He said, Atul, I need to be connect with the other teams as well. I need to be check with the data team. I need to be check with the integration team. I need to check with the CSM team. It means how is getting this part, because I am the one BA who's giving the requirement to him. There's another B in the other team who's giving the requirement to him. Now he's saying that what is common between that and how I can build that part. So coordination is required to be done so that we can make a standard policies. We can say the knowledge, process knowledge, or artifacts can be created, and then we can do the linking as well. Clear till this point? If I speak from the practical part, अतुल हम ये करते हैं, I know, हम सारे करते हैं, मैं भी करता हूँ ये काम. But I was going to say the same thing. Yes, but it is not formal anywhere. It is not formal anywhere. I have my daily refinements call. I do the same thing. I'll set up a meeting and say, okay, developers and architects, I have this requirement. How technically it can be feasible. But that is not a documentation anywhere. Okay, ठीक है, देखते हैं, करते हैं, हो जाएगा. So this is the work for the BA to document that particular things. After this course, maybe you will see, Atul, a lot of things we are actually doing or I done, but that was never to be considered in the paper side, because कहीं हमें पता ही नहीं था कि ये क्या होती हैं, but everybody is doing that part. Okay, maybe after this training or maybe after this contents, we'll say it will increase the length of the process as well or the project as well. Definitely yes, but here or there you will getting the benefits as well. If tomorrow the same project has been relocated or maybe transferred to some other company, all the documentation will help the other company as well. That guys, these are the basics one. These are what we created. Now it is up to you how to create, how to move on that area. Okay. Then the knowledge transfer, which we say it is one of the best way to do that part. Information exchange, verbal, non-verbal, structured walkthrough, peer reviews you can do, debriefing meetings. Okay, you have done your meeting with the incident. Okay, come and tell me what you have discussed. So in agile world, there's a concept called the BRP, big room planning. What is the big room planning says basically that every quarter on the program level, we put 3 or 4 days in the everybody calendar. Guys, go and make your priority list for the requirement you want to be complete in this quarter. And first of all, the bigger part, the big teams or the value streams, we say as per the agile, these called the value streams. They prepare their agenda, they prepare the requirement. Then they come to us. Atul, I have a requirement in change. Suraj, I have a requirement in incident. Hitesh, I have a requirement in the problem. Then they're done. They give us the requirement, they go, done. Now we internally see my requirement has a dependency on the incident. Let me have a discussion with the incident. It can be verbal or non-verbal. It can be formal or informal. Maybe I know Suraj. अब कौन मेल भेजेगा? सूरज, can I have 5 minutes? हाँ, अरे रिक्वायरमेंट है तुम्हारे पास है क्या? हाँ, ये हम कर लेंगे, तुम छोड़ दो. It is informal, but it should be formal way as well. Something verbal, something written should be there. Maybe debriefing meeting should be there, or maybe you have a central repository for this, for the same should be there. So again, we are doing this thing. For us, the knowledge transfer is the place when someone is leaving and I'm joining that project. But in the BA, to cater this requirement, to complete the activities, We have the knowledge transfer elsewhere. And all the things we are doing. Like Suraj said that I'm on the business trip for the last 2 weeks. He's doing this thing only. He's going to the client side, he's going to the internal teams, they are giving the requirement to him, he understands, okay. And in the evening, he has a meeting with their bosses in the other countries, where he say, today I have a meeting with them, these are the requirements. So he's doing the debriefing meetings, these things. Okay, clear till this point before we move to the next topic. Hitesh and Suraj.
That's clear though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the third point in this area is called the requirement risk approach. Define the requirement risk approach. भाई देखो रिस्क तो हर चीज में है, everything. By taking the LICs, by taking the insurance policy, it never guarantees that you will never die. It will just minimizing your risk, nothing else. But see that how these insurance company building the risk approach. In approximately 15-20 years back, there was only one concept. If you died, you will get the money. Your family will get the money. Now, if you smoker, you can do for the insurance. If you are a singer, you can go for the insurance. If you are a cricketer, you can go for the insurance. So now they are defining the risk approach. For the cricketer, throat is not that much important. The hands and the legs are more important for him. So it means, and again, now if you see, I'm not saying use the risk approach. I'm saying defining the risk approach. So in this phase, you are defining standards that guys, this is the process. This is the procedure we are going to be used in case if any risk in my requirement gathering. So now what it says, if I come here, risk and issue. This section focuses on the business role in the requirement risk management. अभी तक requirement gathering नहीं हुई, but you are putting a risk approach. If I did not get a slot from my key stakeholder 2 hours in a day, it is a risk for my requirement workshop, क्योंकि वो complete नहीं होगा फिर. So you are defining that particular approach, that how I need to be handle that part. Maybe the day you travel to the client side, that person need to be take emergency leave for the 1 week. Now what you will do? Right? Either you need to be rescheduled or either some other alternative or deputy will be there who can help you in that part. So what they say is that, and again, I'm putting these words or these lines again and again so that you should not confuse. You are not getting the requirement. No, you are just making the plan to gather the requirement. Remember that example, Hitesh. You and your family want to go to Jammu or somewhere by car. You are defining the requirement risk approach. If it did not work, then why or what risk will be there and how I can mitigate that risk. So what they say, there's a two words, risk and issue. When a risk is materialized, it becomes issue. You have a thought in your mind, if my car break down, that is a risk. Until unless it is not break down, it not become a issue for you. Okay, so when we are going for the requirement gathering workshops, and in this requirement risk approach, I am just saying if this risk happen, then what will happen in the actual part, or maybe what is the impact for the same. If you see here, requirement is related to the overall project risk as well. But if I did not get the requirement on time, it means the development will not start on time. The testing will not start on time. The go live will not go on time. So your delay is a complete project delay because you are the foundation for the project. True. So now what they say, between the two risk type, requirement is impacting and being impacted by the overall project. या तो project में कोई risk है, then your work will be impacted. या फिर आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग में रिस्क है, दैट कैन इम्पैक्ट द प्रोजेक्ट वर्क. दोनों चीजें होती हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि ओनली माई वर्क विल बी इम्पैक्ट बी डिलेइंग सो प्रोजेक्ट डिले होगा. इफ प्रोजेक्ट इज डिले then definitely your work can be delayed. It is again a risk for the same. Okay. The risk and impact resulting from the poor quality requirement. You did not estimate the requirements or the scope in a good manner. You set up a workshop for the 2 days. You go there, travel there. In the 2 days, nothing work out. Not only 5% requirement you're able to get it. It is a poor quality because you did not understand the scope carefully. You don't have a applicability, or maybe I can say ability to do that part. And when this will happen, it's a end-to-end requirement risk management. Requirement risk hai, then I am a responsible, I am accountable. I means I am a BA. But if it is a project risk, then my PM is accountable. But in this area, maybe I'm accountable for the requirement risk as well. And he's also accountable for the things, for the requirement risk. But if I see this particular area, specifically this particular area, then whole soul, I am accountable. And why I'm accountable? Because I did not understand the scope in depth. I did not estimate. Now the question comes to how to estimate. There's a concept here. Estimate the requirement activity. When I say you need to be travel from Delhi to Jammu, you estimate it will take 10 hours. Let's say by car, 10 hours. How you're estimating that? Delhi से सोनीपत जाने में 2 घंटे, half hour का break. Sonipat to I can say Kurukshetra 3 hours, then 1 hour break or half an hour break. So you are dividing that part, you are estimating that part. It means again ये estimate requirements का नहीं है. Don't mix up that it is estimation of the requirement. No, give me just 1 minute, guys. This is the estimate of the requirement activities. Okay, so if you are be doing here wrong, if you did not estimate the activities correctly, then you are gone, completely gone, and you are the accountable for this. So now we are defining the approach, that how I can mitigate my risk and what BA box say to us. These are the few points you have to be remember. How requirement risk will be managed throughout the process. So this particular topic is says open the few questions how the requirement risk will be managed throughout the project. It is not like only phase 1 का आपको प्लान करना है, आपको अपकमिंग एवरी फेज का आपको प्लान करके चलना है. ठीक है, तो वो वाला काम. Then how to decide what is the best risk management strategy for a particular requirement. I know until unless I have a workshop with the integration team, I cannot go for the data team requirement gathering. It is a particular requirement. You have to be decide that how this can be mitigate or avoid. How to define a risk requirement, level of risk, high risk, medium risk, low risk, what type of this thing. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Guys, just give me 1 minute, yaar. Yes, आ गया वापस. ठीक है. So now in this topic we are going to be discuss कि approach कैसे करनी है, approach risk approach कैसे define करनी है. So the first part say identify the requirement risk. What do you mean by this? To identify list of risk associated with the each requirement based on the attribute defined. Example, the attribute difficult for implementing. I know the scope of my project that I need to be implement the integration. And in the SOW, I able to find out that customer is not using any kind of integration as of now. They don't have any idea about the integration now. So I will put it difficult to implement because customer has no idea that how they are going to be implement this, what type of integration they're looking. They just put the SOW, I want to be integrate my system, but how they have no idea. So it means now you say अतुल अभी तो आपने बोला था कि ये वो उसमें नहीं है, requirement gathering तो मैं कर ही नहीं रहा, but this is we are doing from the specific from the SOW perspective, या scoping perspective कि boss these are the high level scoping. At least on the basis that you can define your approach here. So first task, identify requirement risk on the basis of like difficult of implementing, or maybe I can say for the change management attribute, if the degree of change in the end user business process is high. So acceptance, maybe I can say my change management tool will be used by the 1 lakh people. And I know from the high level that 70 to 80% will not accept the solution. Then it is a high risk of the acceptance. Maybe in the workshop, your 5 out of 5 stakeholder, 3 are not in favor. But you have to be define the risk here that this is one of the parameter in the change. The data showing is very much high. The risk of acceptance is high for me. Is it again difficult for not for implement to agree with the users, क्योंकि implementation की बात नहीं है यहाँ पे acceptance की बात है कि solution accept होगा कि नहीं होगा मेरा. Then the second task here, this one, some other example, insufficient level of user involvement. By maybe you can say day one I reached to my client side. Okay, I interacted for a complete day, 7 or 8 hours with the client. I was finding that if I ask any question to my client, he says, Atul, I need to be check. This is a risk. Maybe that risk is not came in your mind when you're planning for the requirement gathering. No, this may come at the time of the requirement gathering as well. अरे लोगों ने कहा था that Jammu is a good place to go in month of May, but here are very less people here. It is a risk now because you are being little worried. लोग कम हैं, कहीं चोरी चकारी तो नहीं होगा, कुछ ऐसा तो नहीं होगा, all the things. Maybe some ambiguous requirement. In the SOW, it is not very much clearly mentioned that what exactly integration, what exactly want to do integration. Maybe they are just looking for the AD integration. Some missing or incorrect requirements are there. So these things you come to know from your experience only. यार ये रिस्क होते हैं, मुझे पता है रिस्क होते हैं. Like if when I go as a B or I do this part on the day-to-day basis, I have few risks already highlighted to my product owner. Value stream is not proactive. They just put the high level story in our bucket and say, guys, we need a development on this part. I have a clear approach on that part. I define my risk to them. So if it did not get in the sprint on the time, I'm not liable for this. I'm raising a risk. Then my PO reach out to the value stream leads and they clarify the things. Then second task, define requirement risk management approach. Okay, before that, let's before that, any doubt, any clarification you guys need it here till this point? Then I can proceed further.
Atul, I have a question here.
Go ahead.
So every firm has a separate risk approach, maybe a document or maybe a framework? Like they have criteria, right, to
Yes.
qualify? They have.
Yes. So if you see that
Yeah.
every company has a risk management on the company level as well, that how to run this company. If tomorrow government say, guys, close your business and go from here, it is a risk, right? Tomorrow taxes are high in the location where you're working, then maybe company take a decision, guys, let's close this location and go to some other location now. So in the same manner, every project must have this risk, defined risk parameters. That is in ITL term, this is called the RAID. RAID, RAID logs are there. I need to be see the full form. I forget that what is the RAID. Actionable something is the term. Let me open that. So there is an Excel maintained.
Okay.
RAID log meaning.
तो अतुल ये जो है वित्त अप्रोच जो आप बता रहे हो, ये हमें रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग के टाइम पे क्लाइंट से पूछनी होती है, दे प्रेजेंट इट टू अस थिंकिंग दैट वी वुड नाउ इन अ सिंक, गोइंग अहेड फॉर प्रोजेक्ट एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी नीड यू टू नो. ऐसा कुछ होता है या कैसे होता है? बिकॉज आई एम नॉट अवेयर हाउ लाइवली.
Just repeat your question. I missed out some words.
No worries. Sorry for that. I was just saying, ये जो रिस्क अप्रोच आप बता रहे हैं फ्रेमवर्क, so it has to come from client's side or we have to.
No. It is your responsibility. Clients, boss Hitesh, go and deploy work on my project. But before you kick off the project, you have something in your mind. Guys, if tomorrow you will not give a funding to me, how I'll be continuing with the development part, right? So this is the risk for the client. Only requirement is there, but for you to be ready if anything delayed, then how I can handle, how I can approach. Like if you remember a question, the example, if you did not ask or you did not get a laptop for the 4 week, it is a big risk for client because you cannot log in their environment. It means you're not doing any work. It is a risk. I am paying you very heavy amount so that you can start your work on the day one. I saw many examples. Even I'm also one of the example. The day I join a company, within the induction, I got a call from my manager. Atul, done your induction and come to the floor now. Let's have a work from tomorrow evening or today evening, or let's have it from tomorrow. Simple. He already done my work. My laptop, my seat, my activities, everything has done. Because he know if I delay 2 days, it can be delayed more as well. It is a risk for me. So यहाँ पर client कुछ नहीं है, यहाँ पर आप ही सब कुछ करें, क्योंकि देखो ना, that is falling in your area. ये सारा, it is all about you and your work. Client will come here only sometime. It is you are doing the prerequisite task. If you want to buy a house and that house cost 80 lakh rupees, you will define the risk as well in the background. If tomorrow I am not able to pay EMI because I'm married, I have a kids, their admission, their school, everything will be there. It is a risk, right? So these things you have to be defined. Bank will give you loan and that's all. Builder will give you the flat and that's all. But you have to be defined the risk at your end, right? So this is the first task that you have to be do the risk, identify the requirement risk. कि boss क्या-क्या requirement पे risk हो सकते हैं. Then define the requirement risk management approach. What to do this part, you have to do the requirement risk planning. Or let me go by these lines again. To detail requirement risk management. Yes, go ahead. Anyone question? क्या?
Yes.
हाँ बोलो. Go ahead, Suraj.
Yeah. 1 minute. Suraj here. Yeah. So I was saying once we highlight the risk, when the BA highlights the risk, his part is done. So who will be accountable and responsible then?
Yes.
But that's not our area.
Only for your area. And here you are not you are just putting a placeholder for the risk. Identify तो बाद में होगा ना. जब actual workshop होगा, वहाँ identify होगा कि हुआ कि नहीं हुआ risk ये. Right?
Okay.
तो वो चीजें.
So every risk will have a workshop for them.
Every risk has a.
Every risk के लिए हम लोग कोई workshop लेंगे. I was like.
नहीं.
Accountable और responsible कौन होगा once we highlight the risk?
In your area, you are the accountable. So like I give my example. I am running, like I have a discussion in the BRP with my value streams. Okay. The value stream give me the 10 requirements. Atul, I want this requirement to be developed in this quarter. I said, okay. I put the stories in the Jira and I said, okay. I set up the meetings with them to get more refinement. One meeting, no one attended. Second meeting, no one attended. Third meeting, no one attended. Fourth meeting, no one attended. It is a risk now. In the BRP, we already have a contingency plan there. If we did not get support from the value stream, we are not able to deliver these stories in the quarter. That is the risk. After second meeting, if nobody is attending, I highlight that risk to my product owner. That guys, these story may delay because value stream guys are not joining for the refinement part. Actual risk happen after the second meeting, but I identify the risk in the BRP only. Clear? और उसका मीटिंग नहीं हो, that you have to be just intimate to your next level.
Okay.
That this is the risk, guys, I'm facing now. There are some workshops which I run. There's a zero risk because I know the people to whom I'm inviting. They have a rich experience. I already work with them. They're strict on the agenda and they complete the things on time itself. So वैसा, but 5-7% risk हमें लेके चलना पड़ता है. 10% is the margin which we always take. कि 10% का margin आप लेके चलो. ठीक है? So when you define that part, now the second come approach. And to get approach, we should have a planning on the place. Like in this planning, to provide a well throughout the methodology plan risk response strategy. That how I am going to be respond to that risk. 1 escalation, 2 escalation, 3 escalation. I give you one more example. I got a requirement in my current sprint. Okay. It was refined completely. I gave that requirement to one of the developer. After one day, he said, Atul, I need some discussion with the requester on this part. I said, okay, let me set up a meeting for this. I set up a meeting. That requester did not join. He said, I got some other meeting. I'm not able to join. Okay, fine. After one day, I again set up a meeting. He did not join. Okay, no problem. Then I report to his manager. His manager also did not respond. Then I send an email. We are making this story as a rejected because we did not get any update from the requester. In case you required, please raise a new story for us. This is the response strategy. And in my 1 year career in this particular project, this is the first time I'm facing this issue. That the requester is not responding on time. So we have to do the planning that how to respond that. It is not only for one time, it is a complete requirement process. If my car break down in between the trip, how I can get response in that part? I should have a charge my phone beforehand. I should have some money handed, cash handed, so that I can take a lift and reach there. So, and how you can do this part? You can do the risk with the initial risk assessment, which we discussed in our previous discussions. So this is a one or first step together to make this approach, that how to do the planning part of the response side. Now, if I go to the next part, I'm just linking the points here. That how you can define the risk like this way: likelihood 1 to 5, impact, or just a forecast you are doing. It can happen. I'm going on the road trip on my car for a long time now, but still I have a forecast that it's 10 years done now. My car is little old. The chances of the risk is high. Intervention difficult. It can be cost impact. It can be cost impact, schedule impact, scope impact, anything can be there. When I go to the workshop, Customer says, sorry, I'm not interested in the integration. I want to start with the change only first. And change is not in the scope now. You're again stuck. It is a risk because it is scope impact now. You have to be talk to your PM, get it verified, then you have to be start with the change. But the problem is that you don't have an agenda for the change management. So it will impact my schedule as well now. Intervention difficult. Determine how difficult it will be to intervene to prevent the risk from occurring. नहीं होता कभी कभी ये चीजें. You are not able to prevent that part because you're not sure that this will happen. You are going to the client side and client said, sorry guys, I'm taking the deal back now. Or we don't have funding. Let's not discuss now. It happened with me. I was in a discussion of one of my value stream and I say, guys, OK, let's start the development part. In the next meeting, I got update they don't have funding now, which I was not calculating in my risk. Because I thought that I'm talking with these guys, they know everything. And everything has been stopped in between. Then mitigation strategy. Are we able to avoid it or mitigate it or assume it? And then you have to plan the action plan. If this thing happen, then what to do to mitigate that, to avoid that, to lower that. These things you have to be do. I'm sure even I did not do this work practically. And I'm sure Hitesh or maybe Suraj, you also did not do this thing. But if you are running some workshops, better it's a time for you to do this risk assessment as well. Not assessment, risk approach. Define the risk approach. OK, this is must for us now. Little confusing, but if we do the practice, then we're able to understand that part. Clear till this point? Any doubt?
Where can we practice this, Atul?
OK, so what you can practice it here. Now, if you are going for any requirement gathering workshop next time, if nobody asks you about this, make a list for yourself only. Make it handy in your documentation and send a copy to your manager that guys, I'm just putting a high level risk here. Maybe if you're running a project, try to identify that, do I have any risk here? The thing is that being a human being, we see, ठीक है ना, अपना कौन सा कुछ जा रहा है, project तो चलता रहेगा. But if you think from the role perspective, you should know that what is the impact. Now, after that funding case, I'm aware. And now whenever we get a value stream on board in our BRP, we first of all say, guys, you have a business case and the funding with you. They say yes, welcome. Because we learn now after spending 2 or 3 months with them and bringing them, and later on we find, sorry guys, we don't have a funding. So this is a risk which we understood, which we experienced now. And we're using this experience in the upcoming onboardings. Clear now?
Yes, Atul.
Good. Then requirement risk monitoring. It is required. By day 1 ka workshop hua, everybody, you suppose Hitesh is the lead BA and under that the 4 BAs are there. Everybody put the risk there. My client is don't have the business understanding. He talked about the technical stuff as well. We are just able to complete 5%. So being a lead BA, you have to do the monitoring on that part. Maybe as a lead BA, you have to be interfere as well. Guys, you're not going on the track now. Please. You can ask the business guy, guys, let's stick on the agenda. Don't discuss about the technical part. This is not a technical discussion. So you have to do the monitoring for the same. To do this part, you can set up a meetings like it is a once per week. This is what I'm saying, red log, right? Let me show you like this in the image part. Let's show. So this is like a red log. Risk assumption issue and D, I guess for decision something is there. Let's see. Dependency, yes. So like this. Risk assumption issue and dependency. This is my assumption that I will able to complete only 75% requirement gathering by seeing the experience of the first 2 days. And I highlight this part because when you travel to the client side, you have a specific agenda with a limited time frame. In the time frame, you have to be complete the requirement gathering. After 1 day, I talk to my lead BA and say, guys, I am just able to talk only 2 points in a whole day. And my lead BA say, guy, Atul, go and put in the red log and mark as a risk here. It's a high risk for me because if I have a 10 points to be discussed or the 7 or 20 points to be discussed in a day one, I just discuss only 2 points. I can discuss only 50% of my requirements. It's a risk for me because remember, customer will say, guys, it's your mistake. Simple si baat hai. So how you can justify your point, how you can save yourself after that, putting the things in the RAID logs. This is a place which save you on the later on. ये evidence है आपका. And being when I say these things, so you should set up the meetings with the client on the regular basis. Guys, we have these many risks open. I want to be discussed. We are not getting support from the technical side, technical team from your side. It is a high risk. We cannot go for the end-to-end design. And then customers say, oh, is it on me? Let me check. And you mentioned the point. This is the way we handle the risk here. Clear. And this monitoring, it is not a one time. When I was in one of the company, I was maintaining these RAID logs. Every Wednesday, I have a meeting with my application owners. 2 from the on-site, 2 from the off-site. And open approximately 10 or 20 risks we have. At the time when I was leaving that company, only 5 or 7 was left. And that are all the low risk now. And I saw the progress because this is the place where you can do acceleration on the client as well. Guys, you are not supporting. How I can be move forward if you're not supporting to me? Clear? So like you have to do like impact mitigation strategy, action plan, everything will become under this. Then if you start discussing, customers say, OK, make it this low risk. I know that I'm going to be decommissioning this application in the next 1 or 6 months. Let's make it a low risk only. So this is exercise required for us as a business analyst. And few of them will become during the workshop. Few of them will become after the workshop. Few will become when you start working or developing that part. But this RAID log will be a live, or I can say live long document. If you are a good BA, it should have only and only zero risk or low level risk. No dependency, no issues, no assumption, no risk. This is what a target every company has. Clear till this point, guys?
Yes, sir.
And like you asked, how we can practice, make a lesson learned. After every implementation, make a lesson learned that what we done well, what went well, what went not well, where we lacking, so that the same issue should not happen in the next implementation. Clear?
Wonderful.
Okay.
Are there any videos that shows us about this defining approach? Like you have anything?
No, I don't have anything, but you can maybe read in the book itself.
Oh, okay, they have.
Which is it? Okay.
Hey, no worries.
Okay, so we are on the planning consideration now. We are here now. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do it tomorrow then. आज के लिए काफी है क्योंकि topics are heavy. Let's have a tomorrow only. Any question before we close the call for, or maybe stop the recording for today?
Atul, for every risk there will be a RACI, right?
Every risk there will be RACI, right? Even though for the complete RAID log you should have a RACI. Okay. That who is accountable at the end for this. So risk logging is one activity. You should have a RACI. Risk monitoring have a one activity, you should have a RASI. Risk mitigation should have a one activity, should have a RASI. So every risk or the complete approach should have a RASI model on the place. Okay. Okay, good. So let me stop the recording here, guys, and we'll take attendance.